what changed my life and made me actually happy was giving my life to Jesus and trying my best to follow his teachings, his ways, keep him first in everything I do, which is my tip for people when they join sales. People come into sales a lot of the times because they're like, I want to make a lot of money because I'm not happy. And I'm like, look, first, money's not going to make you happy. So you need Jesus. And then once you have Jesus, the next thing you need to be good in sales, from what I've seen and the people I know, is really just you need hunger. You need to be super, super hungry, and you need to not be a quitter.
Guys, welcome to the show. Today we have Spencer Kozej on the show. Did I say that right, Spencer?
Yes, sir.
Guys, Spencer is a fantastic salesman, but what I love about this guy, he's 25 years old. He's jacked. He's a faith, God-fearing man. He is a killer recruiter. Okay, I see this guy on Instagram. A lot of you guys have probably seen this guy with the cars in Miami. But what I love about Spencer, he's not putting off like a facade, like a fake life. Like Spencer, I can tell is a good dude. And so I'm excited to have you on the show, brother.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, dude. So let's break this down. So you're life insurance sales, and you're 25 years old. You've recruited 150 active guys to the company, you said.
That's so what I was telling you before is when someone asks how many people are on your sales team, if I answer the answer, it'd be like 300 today, but in 2 months from now, that 300 is going to be like 160. So I answer that question, who's been on my team for over 6 months? And we've got about 150 people that have been with us for over 6 months.
That's amazing, Spencer. So we were talking about your strategy here. I want to dive into this with you. So Instagram's your primary source of recruiting, correct?
Instagram and ads too, Facebook ads.
Well, let's talk about like where did this all come from? Like, where did you start? Let's back up and I want to know your story a little bit. How you got into sales, what age you were, why you stayed in it, what's helped you be successful.
Yeah, so I got into sales in 2020. I was 19 years old when I started like the pre-licensing course, which is what you need to sell life insurance. It took me a while to get through that. I failed the exam 4 times. But then by the time I passed, I was 20. So I was 20 years old in 2020, started out selling life insurance. And one of the ways I got into it, there was a few things that attracted me and recruited me to the industry. But one of them was I saw a couple guys in the industry that had cool Instagram pages that every time I would see it, I'd be like, oh man, this dude's eating steak dinners. Like I've had 2 steak dinners my whole entire life. When I got like, I think first communion or something. And then when I graduated high school, that was the only 2 times I ever ate steak at a nice restaurant. I'm seeing these sales guys on Instagram eating steak every night. So that caught my eye. And then I saw just people on Instagram with things I was never able to afford. And that's part of what attracted me into the industry. So I knew Instagram recruited me into the industry. So at some point when I want to grow a team, I got to make sure my Instagram can do the same thing for other people out there.
I like that. So let's talk about you're 19 when you started selling?
20, realistically.
20. So how did you do really well right out the gate, or how was it for you?
So I did, I was making about $2,000 a week by my second week, which is not great by any means necessary. But at the time, from what I was used to making, $2,000 a week was absolutely better than great. So I would say I started off pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I love that. And then your biggest year, you got up to close to how much?
Personal sales, income off personal sales was my first year in sales, $380K. And then my mindset or my focus shifted towards team building after that.
Absolutely. You got to build a team. I'm a big advocate of, duplicating success. And I've learned a lot of it from Patrick Bet-David. He's in a very similar space, obviously, and he's grown an army of about 40,000 agents. I don't know if you've got any mentorship from him. He's amazing, dude. Have you been to one of his events?
I have not, no, but
Dude, you've got to go to the Vault. You're crushing it with recruiting. Go to the Vault conference, because that is a guy who's literally built exactly what you're doing at the highest level, So, but I love this, dude. Okay. So I want to break down with you what, like, if you were to give like one or two things that has helped you find success before we go into recruiting in your sales job,
Yeah.
like what?
So
Yeah.
I would say, first and foremost, the same time I started sales, my first week in sales was the week I went to a Christian church for the first time and gave my life to Jesus. So I feel like I was broke and hopeless and like bitter my whole life for 20 years. And then in 2020, two things happened at the same time. I got into sales, but I also gave my life to Jesus. And since 2020, my life's been great. I made great money. I'm happier. Everything's good for the most part. And I always thought it was because I was making money. But 4 years into my sales career, something happened where everything exploded. I went from making 20, 30K a week down to like 1,000 to 2,000 a week for 7 months in 2024. But I was still happy, peaceful, like good, completely good. So what I realized in 2024 was what changed my life and made me actually happy was giving my life to Jesus and trying my best to follow his teachings, his ways, keep him first in everything I do, which is my tip for people when they join sales. People come into sales a lot of the times because they're like, I want to make a lot of money because I'm not happy. And I'm like,
Mm,
look,
that's important.
first, money's not going to make you happy. So you need Jesus. And then once you have Jesus, the next thing you need to be good in sales, from what I've seen and the people I know, is really just you need hunger. You need to be super, super hungry, and you need to not be a quitter. And those are, if you have those two things, you're going to be good, in my opinion.
Well, dude, I'm a very Christian man myself, and I'll tell you, business and sales, it's a spiritual game, and it's selling is you're pouring into people, you're giving energy, right? It's about serving and detaching from your agenda and helping that person, not just pull them over to your agenda, but one, discover it's a fit, and if it is a fit, finding a way to serve them, right, through communication and empathy, love. Those are some of the most powerful forms of communication, and they stem from a lot of this faith. And I think just having a desire to serve people and love them and see them better off, um, that's massive. But then also this sense of filling your cup, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. And so that's spirituality. That is, physical fitness. We're both big into that. And um, I'm curious. So you literally talk about Jesus and how this has been transformative for you. You tell guys they got to get that in their life. Um, what other parts of personal development would you say have been massive for your growth?
So I've already talked about the spiritual, which is one of the pillars of personal development. In my opinion, you got mind, body, spirit. Spirit's probably the most important. After that, I would say physical development in your body and being in good shape for two reasons. If you eat healthy food and you're in good shape, you're going to have better energy than somebody that eats crap food and is out of shape. And sales is a performance based career where you need energy. So if I've got more energy than you because I'm in good shape and you're not in good shape, who's really going to perform better and make more sales over the course of a year? Probably me, because I've got more energy and I'm not going to crash out in the middle of the day every day.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to team building, if you're in great shape, I mean, Andrew Tate says this, Andy Elliott says this, and I agree with it completely. If you're in great shape and you're trying to recruit someone, it's very easy to recruit someone when anytime you walk up to them, they semi automatically respect you because they can see by the way you carry yourself that you mean business
Yeah.
and you probably do what you say you're going to do. So if you tell them, hey, if you listen to what I teach you to do, I can teach you how to make 100K or more than 100K, they're probably going to trust you. But if you show up looking like a slob, they're not. I personally don't trust fat people.
Yeah.
Just
I love it. It sounds ruthless, but I understand where you're coming from, because it shows discipline. It shows
yeah.
discipline. It shows commitment. And to defend what you're saying, if a man can't take care of himself, how is he going to take care of a business, his people, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, especially with how important physical health is. I love that, man. A big thing for me, Spencer, I don't know how you feel about this, but I used to have this limiting belief. Okay. I've gotten a lot more fit. I've got a great relationship with my kids. I have full custody. I was telling you that before the podcast, single dad of 3 guys. I'm a business owner. Business is scaling and growing, and got a great life. But I used to think that I couldn't have great health and have a lot of money, have a success in business, and then also have great family. And so, um, we were just talking about earlier before the show how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And what I'm on a mission to drive home with people is you don't have to choose between the business success and then your health. You don't have to choose between the relationship with God and both of those things, business and health. They go they go hand in hand with each other. And again, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so if you can master fitness or master one of these pillars of your life, it bleeds over into the other area. And a lot of guys come in just wanting money, try to fill that hole, as you were saying, hoping the money will solve those problems, but it just amplifies current state. And when really they don't need sales training as much as they need development themselves. So,
I agree
um,
completely.
dude, I'm curious to shift topics here with you and transition recruit, if that's okay, Spencer. You down?
Yeah,
I want to
100%.
I want to pick apart and just have the audience learn from you. Tell us um tell us if somebody's getting started, wants to build a team, right? That's step 1 to growing your income and growing freedom is recruiting. You also need great onboarding success and leadership and systems to make sure things grow and are smooth. And but with recruiting on Instagram, if you were to mentor somebody coming in, what are your first couple tips you'd give somebody else, right? So not for me, like I already know. I'm not as I wouldn't say I'm as well versed as you. Uh, we have different lanes with marketing, but for someone newer,
Yeah, I would say people are looking for leadership. So you need to show up as a leader in a couple main pillars on Instagram, whether it's money. So if you're recruiting someone to join your sales team and all you talk about is money, you better have a boatload of money that you can show people, hey, I'm talking about making money, but here's how much money I make. I can lead you to make more money. That's one way to recruit people, but you're going to be smoked if that's your only approach by people that have multiple approaches and can be a leader in multiple avenues. So, what I try to focus on is like, yes, I can teach you how to make a boatload of money, and here's all the money I make, but that's only going to attract a certain type of person. And sometimes that attracts low quality people if all they care about is money. So you need to be a leader physically, mentally, spiritually, and show that not only can I teach you to make a lot of money, but if you get around me, you can become better physically. Now you've got people that their main goal is I just want to get in better shape. So if I can get around Spencer, he can teach me how to get in better shape. And the only way I can get around him is if I join a sales team. But hey, I'm going to make money doing that. So boom, now I'm getting the person that doesn't just care about money. They more care about fitness, but money would be a nice little side thing to have. So they hit me up because of that, because I can be a leader in that column.
nice,
Or if it's mindset, like the first time I listened to a David Goggins video was the first time I heard somebody with a different mindset than what I was used to growing up around and hearing. And I was like attracted to David Goggins because of his mindset, not his money, not his physical shape, not his uh spiritual beliefs, but his mindset, which drew me to him. I followed him. I felt like I knew him. And I feel like if he had an opportunity to where he said, yo, you can come do whatever with me, I would go because of his mindset. And he's a mental leader. And then spiritual, a lot of people don't have someone that they can look up to teach them about the Bible or teach them things about how they can grow their spirit.
right?
So again, people that are out there looking for spiritual growth, if you can be a leader in all four of those avenues, then you can attract way more people than the guy that's a scrub physically, like a victim, hater, beta mental state. no spirit, but all they talk
Yeah.
about is money. Like
Money.
I
Yeah.
look at the people, I'm like, you can't compete because you're
Yeah.
just going to attract a bunch of money hungry kids.
100%. Yeah. It attracts entitlement. It attracts kind of greedy guys that will eventually try to, you know, not always, but your odds of them trying to leave you and start their own is higher, you know.
Yeah.
But attracting through culture and lifestyle is massive. And there's a lot of guys that make good money in sales and a lot of good recruiters that make a lot of money. You know, I was making 200,000 a month selling solar, but that only gave me so much attraction, you know. But once I started getting real with, hey, I'm also a single dad. I am also big into fitness. I'm also a Christian entrepreneur. Then it makes you start differentiating yourself from these other, you know, other recruiters. And the way I look at it is success isn't to be pursued, it's to be attracted by who you become. You know, Jim Rohn always said that. And Tony Robbins has been a megaphone for that message his whole life. And the way I see it, Spencer, is you become more attractive if you add these other arsenals of your life. You are literally more attractive to other people, not just physically, obviously, but you're attractive with your energy. You're attractive with that momentum. And when people see something that they don't have, right? It could be physical health, it could be a relationship, but also he has the money that I want. That's just it's another iron in the fire the way I see it.
Yeah.
So
100%.
okay, so that's huge. So you're talking about having a well-rounded, going after multiple things, getting loud about that, not just about money, but have a few different things, whether it's your physical health, show what you're passionate about. What other tips do you have for somebody on Instagram to blow it up? Maybe talking to someone higher level, already doing it at a high level. You know, what would you say?
I would say that this is kind of simple, but if you were to ask someone that's seen your Instagram, like, what's this person all about? It should be real easy to answer.
Mm,
So you're always in the back. So contrary to popular belief, I was always told, don't post your hiring every single day. You'll come across thirsty. And then I was told coming up, like, if you're going to post hiring, post, hey, I only have spots for 3 people.
right.
So swipe up soon because it's going to be closing out this week. Like, to me, that comes across as you're
Salesy.
lying and you're just like scammy.
Yeah.
Well, like I'm in sales. It's obvious that we recruit. It's obvious that I'm hiring all the time. So I've posted I'm hiring every single day for the last 5 years without missing, with the mindset of I'm going to drill it into people's heads every single day. So maybe one day they're going to be having a bad day at work and they're like, I hate my job. They're going to be like, well, that Spencer kid posts he's hiring every single day. Let me hit him up and check it out.
Yeah. Do you feel
Or
like
also,
so my thought is I see how that's brilliant in a lot of ways. What about for brand as far as people getting annoyed and putting you on mute or unfollowing?
so personally, I don't care because I'm like, if you are annoyed or going to mute me and unfollow me, I don't care. I only want people that want to work with me regardless. So if you weren't going to work with me, I don't need you following me anyway.
Right.
That's my mindset on it.
I like it. I like it. Who's been a mentor for you in the marketing, recruiting, and leadership space for sales?
Ooh, man, I've learned a lot from a lot of people. So I don't want to miss anybody, but I would say one of the biggest is on Instagram, Will Rivera. His Instagram is Will Change Lives. He's taught me a lot. And one of the guys that runs my ads, his name is Sohab. I think his Instagram's Swole, SWOLEHAYB. He's also taught me and helped me a lot with marketing tips.
Love that. Those guys out of Miami, or you just connect and
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
they're in Miami.
let's go. I love it, dude. I love it.
Yep. And Daniel G, if you've
Huh.
heard that name.
Yeah, I had him speak at my event. We're
Yeah.
we're
Had
buddies.
a dinner with him and he gave me some really good tips on marketing on especially on social media that have helped me a lot as well.
I love that. What Daniel G said to you?
He said most people post for likes, but you should post for shares.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's
Virality.
genius. Like, what can I post that'll get people sharing it rather than just liking it?
So how did that shift your content strategy for you?
So it shifted because I'm just about get me new eyes on my page every single day. Someone that I watch and get business tips from, funny enough, is Rick Ross. He's actually super smart when it comes to marketing.
Yeah, he is.
And his one of his tips is you have to connect with new consumers every single day. So if I just keep posting I'm hiring, but all it's going to is my current followers. That's not new consumers. Consumers to me is like people that might want to work with me. So if
Right.
I'm just not getting in front of new consumers and I'm just letting my same audience see me every single day, that's not connecting with new consumers every single day. So every single day, my mindset is I need to connect with more and new consumers. One way I do that is just funny, stupid, creative ads where I'm doing something that people are probably going to roast me for, make fun of.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll think it's
Sounds funny.
funny, but either way, it's going to get shared. And then when it gets shared, people are going to be hearing in my message, hey, I'm hiring sales reps. This is what we do. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
Because I know that's connecting me with new consumers that it's going to get their eyes on my page and then have them start doing their research to see if maybe they end up on the team.
Nice. So how you sit down and you come up with these ideas every day?
Not every day, but yeah, pretty frequently.
I love it. So that's part of your routine for work.
Whenever I need a new idea, I go to the same place. It used to be my bathroom. I'd shut the lights off, get on my knees, start praying, listen to worship music, and just pray, give me creative ideas. Give me the next idea that's going to make my Instagram pop. Get me lead great agents to my team. Boom, boom, boom. And then I just sit there and ideas pop into my head. Now I do it by the water near my place. But yeah, that's what I do
Nice.
to get my ideas.
That's awesome, Spencer. Love that, dude. And then what, do you use a team to help you manage the content and everything and post and edit?
Yeah, I've got a few videographers, a couple guys that edit some stuff.
Love
Yeah.
it. Love it, man. And then what's your strategy for onboarding people? Do you have a system set up for how you guys do that to help increase retention and training? And
Basically, we run a group interview for people to join our sales team instead of one-on-ones. So we funnel people to a group call. Before they join the call, they watch a quick video that explains what we do. It's like a quick little video teaching them a little bit about the career. I funnel them to a group Zoom. It's live every Monday. On that Zoom, I'll have like 200 people a week. That's where I really break down the business and talk about here's how we get leads, here's company history, here's our scripts, boom, boom, boom. And then I say, if you're interested in working with us, fill out this link. So if I've got 200 people on there, we'll probably have 150 of them fill out the link saying like, yeah, I want to do this. I'm ready. From there, I funnel those 150 names out to the 60 leaders across my team. We've got 60 leaders. So I'll give like whatever, 3 names to each leader. And their job is call this person, get to know them, see why they want to join, see what makes them think they'd be a good fit for our team. And then I
nice.
leave it up to my leaders to see if they want to hire that person or not.
So what was before that group Zoom call? I missed that.
Before the group Zoom, they watch a quick video that talks about a little bit like, hey, Spencer runs a group Zoom. It's about this. He's going to go over leads, blah, blah,
So
blah. It's just,
like an evergreen like webinar kind of thing.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, nice. In your short form, you have ads that basically get them to go to that.
Yep.
Like a funnel.
Yeah, short form ads lead them to a quick VSL video that's like 8 minutes. They watch that video. It funnels them to the group interview Monday night. I'm there live on Monday, and then
Nice.
I funnel them to the leaders on my team. Yep.
That's perfect, dude. That's a solid system. Yeah, it's efficient too. And you're getting a couple hundred people on each one of those.
Yeah, it really depends how much we spend on ads for the week, but it's between 150 to 250.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
So tell me what fuels you, bro? Where do you're 25, you've got massive momentum, you're crushing in a lot of ways. What's driving you right now? Where do you want to be? Why do you do what you do?
I don't really, honestly, it's Andy Elliott says, what you lack as a kid, you crave as an adult.
Yeah.
So I didn't grow up in a family that had a ton of money. So I just want to be the parent of a family that has a lot of money. And also, my purpose is to lead people to the Christian church. And I know the business model I'm in, the more people I recruit, the better I do in business. But if I'm bringing in 200 people a week that are looking up to me for financial advice, I'm on a slight pedestal where I've got 200 people looking up to me like, yo, what do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do to make money? That gives me a great platform to be
It
like,
does.
hey, step one, you need to get into church. So that's what keeps me going.
That's
I'm gonna
awesome.
plan on doing that forever.
That's awesome, dude. That's where I'm very similarly aligned with you. Like my company, Sparta Solar, um, it is people are attracted on the success of money and making good money, but we've had a lot more people attracted on mentorship, which I think is better branding now. But a lot of people come in saying, "Hey, I need a job, right? It's a job, make money, sales." And then we come in and we've branded ourselves, Spencer, as a self-development, leadership development sales organization. We just happen to sell solar, right? And that's what guys like you and I are connected. It's like, dude, you sell life insurance virtually. I sell, our group is door to door, but we are aligned on the big stuff, God, fitness, health, putting yourself first, serving people. And I think when a guy, a man or woman gets aligned with a bigger vision that's outside of them, that is spiritually driven, and it's about impacting and serving and also stems from childhood, and then they get momentum and success, those are the guys to watch out for. Those are the guys that usually do big things. So anybody listening to this, watching this, if you're thinking, how can I get like these guys, how can I get more momentum and success, find a reason that's outside of just you. There's 4 levels of why. There's survival, there's status, freedom, and then there's purpose. And a lot of salespeople are in those first 3. And then even some top performers in freedom of like, I just want to have a lot of money. I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with who I want. But there's a different level you'll operate when you do it out of something bigger,
Yeah.
And it's like fueling a rocket versus fueling a Toyota Prius. Like they don't operate on the same fuel,
Yeah.
And so to have bigger goals to get to a bigger place, you have to have bigger fuel. So I love hearing that, bro. I love hearing what motivates you and gets you going. I would hear this. Like, what's the best advice you've ever gotten that's helped you in business?
I would say it's very simple. Outwork and outlast.
Yes,
That's what was told to me when I was new.
simple.
And it's simple. Yeah, just outwork everybody and outlast everybody, especially in sales, because
Yep,
everyone quits at some
yep.
point. And I was reflecting on this before the podcast when you said, teach me or text me like your achievements. And I'm like, okay, I could text this dude and say I make X millions of dollars. But a lot of people can do that in the sales industry. But what a lot of people can't do is say, I've never quit a sales job ever. I feel like that's so rare. And that's
That is rare.
the people that can say that probably are the top dogs at the current company that they're at. I feel like if you get the chance to talk to a top dog, they're going to be like, yeah, this was what I started in. This was my first sales job. And now I make X millions per year. I've never quit and I'm unrecruitable.
Let's go. Dude, there's
So
I always say the 4-step formula to outsell anybody. It's exactly what you said. It was the first 2, it's outwork, outdevelop, outstrategize, outlast.
yeah.
Like if you could summarize success in those 4 things right there:
Yep.
outwork, outdevelop. So get better close rate, grow yourself. That's exactly what we're talking about on this, personal development. And then out strategize. You need systems, and a lot of what we're talking about here is a strategy. You talk about your VSL strategy. That's somebody could go bust their butt making videos, but if they have the wrong strategy, it's hard to compete. And that is also why going to mentors, listening to podcasts, reading things is huge. You got to proactively and continually seek out who's better than you. Me reaching out to you, I'm like, this guy's beating me in marketing in some ways. I want to learn from him. I want to share this with my audience. I want to promote him, get him up on a pedestal. He's talking about God. He's talking about fitness. He's helping guys find freedom in sales. This is a win-win, So props to you, bro. Props to you. Thank you for coming on the show. One other thing I want to ask, what is the worst advice you've ever gotten in relation to sales and business?
Worst advice I've ever gotten. Worst advice. That's a good question. There's so much bad advice. I would say the worst advice is any advice coming from someone that you wouldn't trade places with.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah. So
That's great.
anything coming from someone that you wouldn't trade places with mentally, physically, spiritually, or financially,
Yep.
that's the worst advice, in my opinion.
Just there's an off switch.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's the mouthpiece of this? Who's this person? What's he talking about? Where is he at in that area of his life? Okay, cool. Turn the switch on. He's better than me, you know? And so,
Yeah.
not even better than me, but it's like was it Dale Carnegie said, in every man is my superior in that I learn of him. You know, in today's world, he'd be almost a trillionaire. And so there's something powerful with that mindset, you know. I've seen that
Yeah.
consistent theme with some of the top guys I've interviewed and entrepreneurs I met. They're hungry and they're humble, dude. That's the difference with like great salespeople and entrepreneurs is they are different than the good ones in the sense that they don't stop progressing because they don't stop learning. So, well, dude, where can people find you on the gram?
Yeah. Find me on the gram, Spencer.Kozej, or on YouTube. The YouTube's growing too. We're going to see which
Let's
one hits
go.
100K. They're both going to hit though.
Yes. That's big, dude, on YouTube. That's big.
Yeah, it's
I
big,
love
but
that,
it's
Spencer.
going to happen.
Let's go. What are a lot of your YouTube? I haven't seen your YouTube channel. What are you talking on?
So I started a YouTube in January this year. I just make like vlogs, educational videos, stuff like that. I'm coming
Okay.
up on
What percent, like what percent vlog, what percent, you know, training videos, what percent other
not, I would say
ish?
I just now am hopping on like a consistent game plan. I was kind of freestyling it before, but I'd say it's 50-50, or maybe 30% vlogged, 70% educational.
Nice, dude. I need to start vlogging for YouTube. I don't do that.
Yeah, YouTube brings a lot of good recruits. I would say like 1,000 views on a long form YouTube video is equivalent to 200,000 views on an Instagram reel.
I would agree with that. Yeah. Long form is way strong. Podcasts, YouTube are way when people I meet people that have watched my YouTube or listen to my podcast, they're like they feel like they're friends already, you know? It's cool. I love
Yeah.
it. Because they get to know you. And I felt that way with other entrepreneurs, you know. And yeah, super cool. It's such a blessing that we can send out messages like this, you know, in the world. We live in such a cool day. I was just talking to one of these new guys we just onboarded. He's going to school out here in Utah, and I was telling him I was a dropout, and you know, just telling him like, dude, the world we live in is so crazy. How we really don't need school, you know.
Not at
Like,
all.
I mean, it's. I don't want to call school a scam, but my gosh, it is kind of a scam. Uh, especially if you want to, unless you're going to be a doctor or dentist or lawyer. I feel like AI is just going to take those jobs anyways. But anyways, uh, maybe not
That's
the
funny. I
dentist.
met a sales kid on my team like 2 weeks ago. He was in my kitchen, and
Uh,
I'm like, where'd you go to college? He's like, I dropped out of high school in ninth grade. I said, dude, that's,
high school. That's savage, bro.
I'm like, dude, I wish I could say that.
I
That's
know
smart.
that's next level. The kid, he figured out early. He's like, this shit's rigged.
I was like, that's respect.
Yeah, man. I remember being in college thinking of my professors, and I'm like, I was reading books with Grant Cardone, Brian Tracy, you know, Carnegie, and and Stephen R. Covey, and I remember learning from them, and then learning from my professor, then learning from them, learning from my professor. It wasn't just the fact that I made $300,000 while I was going to school in a summer time frame. It was the fact that I'm like, this mentorship I'm getting from this 1 hour reading my book versus 1 hour reading class. I'm like, this is not the same. I'm
Yeah.
like, what else is out? I mean, what if I got this in person? And then I started going to events, and I was like, done. We're out. We out. Best decision I made, bro. So anyone going to school, listen to this. There you go. Get sold.
What year of college did you drop out?
Oh, what year was it? I did a church mission. So I was out preaching for Jesus for 2 years, and then I came back, dropped out. Was that 2015?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That was where I learned how to sell, by the way, was selling Jesus.
I've had some Utah guys on the team that say the same thing.
Bro, there's some of the best ones. You get some pansy Mormon guys that that'll come in, but like you can tell if they had leadership position on their mission and they're disciplined, they're humble. That's a good sign. Like I was the guy
Probably
on the
the
mission.
best recruits out there.
Yeah, I outworked everybody on the mission. I talked to more people than everyone, and that translated over to success and sound, man.
Sick.
Yeah. Well, Spencer, loved having you, brother. Love having you. How can I help bring value to you outside sharing this podcast and getting you on our page?
I mean, just giving me a platform to talk about Jesus and sales is the best thing that anyone can do. So you already did. I appreciate you.
Let's go, bro. Love that. Love your energy. Guys, give him a follow. Spencer, I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
We'll see you.